The Virgin Mary in the Kingdom of the Divine Will. Day 13. The Queen of Heaven in the Kingdom of the Divine Will departs for the temple and gives example of total triumph in the sacrifice. The Soul to the Triumphant Queen. Celestial Mamma, today I come to prostrate myself before you, to ask for your invincible strength in all my pains. And you know how my heart is filled with them, to the point of feeling drowned with pains. Oh, please, if you love so much to act as my mother, take my heart in your hands and pour into it the love, the grace, and the strength to triumph in my pains, and to convert them all into divine will. Lesson of the Triumphant Queen. My child, courage, do not fear. Your mamma is all for you. And today I was waiting for you, so that my heroism and my triumph in the sacrifice may infuse in you strength and courage, that I may see my child triumphant in her pains, with the heroism of bearing them with love, and in order to do the divine will. Now, my child, listen to me. I had just turned 3 years old when my parents made known to me that they wanted to consecrate me to the Lord in the temple. My heart rejoiced in hearing this, that is, consecrating myself and spending my years in the house of God. But beneath my joy there was a sorrow, a privation of the dearest persons one can have on earth, which were my dear parents. I was little. I needed their maternal cares. I was depriving myself of the presence of 2 great saints. Moreover, I saw that as the day approached on which they were to deprive themselves of me, who rendered their lives full of joy and happiness, they felt such bitterness as to feel themselves dying. But though suffering, they were disposed to make the heroic act of taking me to the Lord. My parents loved me in the order of God, and considered me a great gift, given to them by the Lord, and this gave them the strength to make the painful sacrifice. Therefore, my child, if you want to have invincible strength to suffer the hardest pains, let all your things be in the order of God, and hold them as precious gifts given to you by the Lord. Now you must know that I prepared myself with courage for my departure for the temple, because as I delivered my will to the divine being, and the supreme Fiat took possession of my whole being, I acquired all virtues as my own nature. I was dominator of myself. All virtues were in me like many noble princesses, and according to the circumstances of my life, they promptly showed themselves, to do their office without any resistance. In vain would they have called me queen, had I not possessed the virtue of being queen over myself. Therefore I had in my dominion perfect charity, invincible patience, enrapturing sweetness, profound humility, and the whole endowment of the other virtues. The divine will rendered my little earth of my humanity fortunate, always flowery, and without the thorns of vices. Do you see then, dear child, what it means to live of divine will? Its light, its sanctity and power convert all virtues into one's nature, nor does it lower itself to reign in a soul where there is a rebellious nature. No, no. It is sanctity, and it wants the nature in which it must reign to be ordered and holy. Therefore, by the sacrifice of going to the temple, it was conquests that I made, and over this sacrifice, the triumph of a divine will was formed in me. And these triumphs brought into me new seas of grace, of sanctity, and of light, to the extent of feeling happy in my pains, in order to be able to conquer new triumphs. Now, my child, place your hand upon your heart and tell your mamma, do you feel your nature changed into virtue? Or do you feel the thorns of impatience, the noxious herbs of agitations, the bad humors of affections which are not holy? Listen, let your mamma do it. Place your will into my hands, determined and not wanting it any more, and I will make you possessed by the divine will, which will banish everything from you. And what you have not done in many years, you will do in one day, which will be the beginning of true life, of happiness, and of true sanctity. The soul. Holy Mamma, help your child. Make a visit to my soul, and with your maternal hands snatch from me everything you find which is not will of God. Burn away the thorns, the noxious herbs, and you yourself call the divine will to reign in my soul. Little sacrifice. Today, to honor me, you will call me 3 times to visit your soul, and will give me all the freedom to do with you whatever I want. Ejaculatory prayer. Sovereign Queen, take my soul in your hands and transform it completely into will of God. You have reached the end of Day 13 of the Virgin Mary in the Kingdom of the Divine Will. Fiat.